calculating percent composition, aka percent comp. So you're going to calculate your molar mass just like we did in the last part of our unit. So let's go through that. So remember that you're going to list each element you have, how many you have, and then look up their molar masses. Remember, this is the decimal number on the periodic table. So you're going to multiply the number you have of each element times its molar mass. So I went 1 times 8762, got 8762. 1 times 16 got 16, total that. So we're going to talk about this as our parts. 8762 is the SR part and 16 is the O part, and then the whole is 103.62. So then you're going to take each of your parts divided by the whole. So what I've done is take 87.62 divided by my 103.62. Remember, 103.62 is the total or the molar mass or the whole. So I took 87.62 divided by 103.62, and then you're going to take your part over whole and get an answer, and then you're going to multiply that by 100 and then write it as a decimal. Okay, so this step right here, it's the only step you can show when you do your practice that you can skip. Not show, pardon me. This step right here is the only step that you can skip when you get to the practice problems. In the notes, I would encourage you to write this all down so you have a reference. So we took part 8762 over whole 103.62. We ended up getting 0.8456. We multiply by 100 to get a percentage. So for the next part, we're going to take 16 over the whole. Okay. And that gets us 0.1544 times 100, gets us 15.44%. So the parts in blue here is what you must show in your practice to earn points. So you have to have all of this stuff in your practice to earn points when you do your 8 practice problems later. I encourage you to do all the parts here in your notes so you have a good reference for when if you would get stuck, as good examples. So the next example here, we have MnO2. Again, you're going to calculate the molar mass just like we did. So we list the elements we have. We list how many we have of each. 2 Mn's, 5 O's. Look up their molar masses, periodic table number on the number on the periodic table, decimal number. We're going to multiply across. So 2 times 5494 is 10988. 5 times 16 is 80. Get our subtotal. These are our subtotals here and here, and this is our whole or a grand total. So we're going to take each of their parts. The parts are 109.88 and 80, and divide by the whole, the 189.88. So when I take 109.88 divided by 189.88, part over whole, get that times 100, and I get 57.87. My other part, 80.88 divided by the whole, 189.88, gets me 42.13 times, oops, sorry, I went the wrong way, times 100 gets me 42.13. So again, you need to show everything except this part right here, and that's the part where we're taking 0.5787 times 100 and 0.4213 times 100. You can skip that part right there in the middle when you do your practice. In notes, I would encourage you to write it down. So for this example, write that down. All right, so going to the next example, we have to figure out the molar mass. Remember, we list our elements, Ru, N, and O. I have 1 Ru. I have 7 O's, because remember this gets multiplied through, and I have 21 oxygens. So I take the number I have of each times its periodic table number, or the molar mass. So 1 times this is 1017, 7 times 1401 is 9807, and 29 times 16 is 33600. Add those up. So these are our 3 parts. This is the whole. We're going to take each of them and divide by the whole, part over whole, and multiply by 100. So I took part over whole, multiply by 100, and got 1889. The part in red you can leave out in the notes. The part in red you can leave out in your practice. Everything else must be shown for credit. So for the next one, I'm going to take part 9807 part divided by this whole again, multiply by 100, and I get 1833. And then I take the oxygens part, 336 divided by 513.14, 535.14, pardon me, and we're going to multiply by 100, and we get 62.79 for our part. Okay, this stuff is not for this year, so I'm going to delete that. And then going on to the next example. Example 4. We have to figure out the molar mass. So remember, there's 3 NBs, 24, because 6 times 4, carbons, 5 times 420, and 7 times 428. I take each of their totals, divide by their periodic table number to get my parts, and this is my whole. So I'm going to take each of those parts and divide by whole, then multiply by 100. Each of those parts divided by the whole times 100. So what did I do? I took each of these parts here and I divided by the 10, 35, 17, then multiplied the answer I get on my calculator by 100 to get these percentages.